Hey friends, it's so good to see you all. Welcome back. If you're a Designer Savvy family member, so glad you're here. If you are new to my channel, I'm so glad you're here. I hope you will enjoy the content today because we are going to be making some spring wreaths. So it is a beautiful day here in Kentucky today. Chilly, about 50 degrees, but the sun is out and I am so thankful. So I had to come out and be in it today. I'll warm up with my back to the sun anyway. So I just want to take a minute to tell you why. It's been a while since I've made a video. Last year, my precious mother got ill around the first of the year. Last year was a year of illnesses for all of us. And her health continued to decline, and we lost my precious mother in July. So that's kind of why I haven't why you haven't seen me again for a little while. But I'm back and God is good. And I hope you will enjoy this today. I'm just pulling from florals that I already had, wreaths that I already had, beautiful florals. So some of these florals are ones that I used to make wreaths in previous years. So I'm all about using what you already have. And why not? Why waste? So if there's anything that I think's missing that I might need to add to the wreath, then I'll go out and get something. But I'm going to try and just work with what I have. I am big on that, especially with DIY projects. I don't like to waste. So I try to repurpose whatever I can, reuse, redo, whatever you want to call it. So stay tuned and we'll get started. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and apologize. There's lots of work going around in the neighborhood. Drills, saws, there you go. That was on cue. So hopefully you'll be able to hear me okay. So I want to show you the supplies that you need for this project. You need the wreath base of choice, flowers of choice, and it's easy if you're doing duplicates to just set them out together and just do them both as you go. So we need a clear coat protective finish, and this is Krylon Color Max. It's indoor outdoor. So when I make a wreath and it's going to be outside for any amount of time, once I'm done, I'll give it 2 or 3 good coats, and that protects it from the elements so it can be used again. All right, we definitely need our glue gun and our glue sticks. I have finger protectors from Crafter's Square. I think that is Dollar Tree brand. And then the screwdriver here, any kind of little tool, because sometimes you can get these really labels that are on these florals and they're just really hard to get off. And so I have my scissors. We might need some wire, so we have wire. We have the wire cutters. And then again, we have our clear protective spray. So those are the main things that you need for this project. And back here, these are the bins that I pull my florals from. I got these little waste containers from Dollar Tree. And then I keep spring, summer, fall, winter florals in there. And I have a second container here. And this is just an extra waste can that I had from somewhere. So that's great to store the flowers in within a larger container. And then I have my container right here that I keep my glue gun and glue sticks in. And then my little tool bag right there for any tools that I might need. So let's get started. So the next 2 steps is I am going to remove any tags that are on any of the florals, and then I'm going to place the florals around the wreath in a way that suits me. So I'm going to show you what I've come up with, and then I'm going to stand here for a few minutes and I'm going to think about it, and I'm going to see if there's any more that I want to do here on this wreath. But I'm going to try and give you a shot from overhead so you can see this is just roughly done, and I did it in real time. So I don't know, I might fast forward the video, I don't know, but it's taken me less than like 4 minutes to place the flowers on the wreath where I want them to be, for starters anyway. So I typically, when I'm doing a wreath, I want the heavier flowers to be around the bottom of the wreath, just for visual weight. I mean, it just makes sense to do it that way. I don't want it to be top heavy. And then I'll place the other flowers around that. So smaller flowers I will use as filler, and let me show you what I mean. Okay, so this is going to be the bottom of the wreath, and this flower is pretty large, this lily. So I've got it at the bottom. Now you can either center it in the middle of the bottom, or you can put it a little bit to the left. I think I'm maybe going to put mine a little bit to the left. I think I like asymmetrical things sometimes with floral arranging. And then these, in comparison, you can see that they're probably, I would call them medium size, because this is definitely large and this is medium. And then these smaller flowers, or these little colored stems, would be considered the small ones. So these small ones are the ones that act as fillers. So I try to separate the flowers so I don't have all the pink together, all the yellow, all the purple, just so it's spread out more that way. But then I do try and add the filler flowers in kind of close to whatever color that they represent. I just have the one purple, I think this is a hyacinth here, so I've got to put this other purple elsewhere in the wreath. But I'll play with it for a little while, and then I'll get started with plugging things in once I know that that's where I want everything. So I just went ahead and arranged the flowers roughly on the second wreath. And if you're outside working and it's windy, just make sure you secure those in your wreath good, or they're going to blow away on you. All right. So one thing that I did not mention, I don't know if I'm going to add any here or not, would be ribbon to the wreaths. So that's just personal preference. So I'll have to decide on that later. If you've watched any of my previous floral videos, you know that I am a stickler for not having these thready edges on my faux florals. I don't think they look real when you have that, and it's just kind of one of those little pet peeves of mine. So there's a few ways to go about it. You can use your scissors to trim those off. Make sure you've got good sharp ones, or be careful when using this. You can use a lighter. I like using a smaller lighter because I have more hand control, but you know, you may prefer to use one of these like you would use for a grill. So it's a little windy out here. I'm not sure that either of these will work for me today, so I might have to stick with the scissors and then maybe go in the garage and finish with the lighter. Kind of a funny thing, if y'all notice, I keep having to move the table out because the sun is going around towards the front of the house now. So I hope this video isn't going to be too dark to see. So one thing I want to mention, another tip, your floral stems will come with lots of extra leaves. If you want to use these, great. If not, you know, throw them away or whatever, save them for another project. But I don't like to use more than 2 layers of the leaves, just because it can just get bulky, and I usually use 1 or 2 layers of the leaves. So it will add more greenery to the wreath or floral arrangement that you're doing. So, you know, that's nice. And that looks kind of pretty. We can see the green leaves peeking through there. So that's pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna just use these 2. Like I say, it just adds more layer to the wreath that you're working on. So I'll figure out how far in I want to stick the floral, and then I'll cut the wire off accordingly. And then once I know exactly where I'm going to place it, then I will hot glue it. One of the things I want to show you, if you lose a tip end of a floral, just hot glue it, let it dry for a few minutes. Now, another thing is when doing your floral arranging, you're going to have all these little glue hairs and glue strings. Make sure once you are finished with your project that you pull all of these off because that's not very attractive to leave those on there after completing a beautiful floral arrangement. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you around and show you a close-up of the wreath as to where I'm going to place this floral. Wow, I have every kind of noise out here imaginable, from birds to dogs to helicopters to drills. Probably we'll be hearing some lawnmowers soon too, because people are already doing that here. So you might not always want to have your flowers draping down like this. You might want some of them to go inside here and kind of cover up this white space that would typically be in here. So I think that's what I'm going to do with this one. I want it standing up somewhat, because this wreath as well as this one, they are going to be at the cemetery, and they are going to be either on an easel-like thing or on a shepherd's hook. So I'm going to have to attach wire because the wind is just wild out there. So I just don't want wire, coming through here and everybody seeing wire. So another reason for putting some taller florals in the middle is it covers up that white space and covers up any hardware, any wire, anything that you have behind there. So let me show you what I have so far. I'm pleased with the way it looks. I do need some more filler with some white flowers because they're sweet and they're dainty, and I think they'd be pretty. I was going to use these, but they're too clumpy, and that's not what I'm going for. I need some light, airy. So I'm going to run and go get some baby's breath, and I'll be back in a minute. So I just got back from Dollar Tree. They didn't have baby's breath. That's what I really wanted. So, but they did have these cute little wildflowers, and I think they're really, really pretty. I think they'll work. We'll see. And since I am making these wreaths for the cemetery for my mom and my grandparents, my mom always loved hummingbirds. So I got this little sign. I can clip these off. Of course, we're not going to use the welcome part. That can be used on something else, but I can clip this off if I want to use these. So they were $1.25 each. So cute. And then I also got these. So I can clip them off right here and hot glue that to the wreath, or I can just put it in the ground and use it as a stand. So I'm not sure which way I'm going to go with that. And then I had already gotten a few of these at Lowe's. They were, I think, $7.95. And then I got these today at Dollar Tree. Of course, they were $1.25 each. So they're stakes that go in the ground. These are pretty strong. They're not quite as strong as the ones from Lowe's, but they do go on the ground about 4 inches. So that should work. So I got these. Okay, let's finish these wreaths. Okay, I told you about all the noises and sounds outside today. So the neighbors' kids, they are adorable. It's 3 little boys, so they're outside playing. So they love the outdoors. So you're probably gonna hear them in the background. Okay, let's see what we've got here. So go ahead and clip your stems apart. I love the greenery that's on these. I love the way the flowers are made. They look like they're made really, really well. Let me give you a close-up. It's almost like a textured fabric, but they're made really well. And look, hardly any frayed edges on there. And then look how pretty and shiny these leaves are. I love that about them. I really like that. Gives them more of a realistic look, I think. All right. So I'm definitely going to use these leaves. Well, they're tough too. They will hold up really, really well in the weather. They kind of have a shiny coating. They're shiny. I like that. So they're waterproof. So the reason, of course, that I spray this with the clear protective coating is because most of the florals are made of fabric. And of course, you get water on that and bleaching from the sun and water, and that's, you know, then you kind of get mildew and stuff on there. But these should hold up really well, especially after I spray these. So these are so pretty. They're just called wildflowers. I'm pretty sure that Dollar Tree has baby's breath. I think I have heard some other channels mention that they've gotten baby's breath from Dollar Tree. I was hopeful that I would find some baby's breath, but didn't. But these, I really, really like these. And they're smaller, and I think they'll work well. Trying to decide if I'm going to come out of this coat or not. I told you it's about 50 degrees here. Actually, when I left and went to Dollar Tree, the temperature gauge in my car said 47. So I'll go ahead and cut these off. I might not need these, so I'm going to set them aside right now. I don't want to cut them off if I don't for certain need them. Y'all, today is the first day of spring. Happy spring, everybody. I'm so excited about that. Spring is my most favorite time of year. Easter is my favorite season. So I was looking for some crosses when I was at Dollar Tree just now. They had wooden ones, but that won't work really very well on these wreaths. So I'm gonna have to try and find some little metal crosses or something. I was hoping they would have had some up there since they had butterflies, hummingbirds, gorgeous dragonflies in the metal plaques and stakes. They didn't have any crosses. I love bunnies, and they had tons of bunnies and tons of eggs, but that's really not what Easter is about. But I do love bunnies, and I do decorate with the bunnies. Okay. This is a situation where I like using my little screwdriver because they put these tags on here and they're so tight against the stems you can't hardly get them off. And these little bitty screwdrivers work really, really well for removing those. Okay, yay. Okay. Guys, I just want to let you all know that Dollar Tree had some really, really pretty florals. I didn't think, should have filmed while I was up there and shown you what they had, but I was just in a hurry to get what I needed and get back here so I can finish these while I still have the sun. It's supposed to be out all day. So I wanted to take advantage. All right. We are about ready to add these. I didn't see any ribbon up there. They normally have ribbon, but maybe I just missed it. Like I said, I was in a hurry, so I was trying to get in and out. Let's get back to this one. I am just gonna do my thing because I may fast forward, so. Okay, I'm going to show you what it looks like with all the flowers on it. Let's put it on the hook here, see what we think. So here's the wreath on the shepherd's hook. If you can see right there in the middle, you can see the shepherd's hook. So that's what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about filling in that hole, that empty space with something. So I might add some more, just a few more white flowers right there so you can't see that as well. And I think we'll be good to go. All right, I think that did it. I'm happy with the way it's turned out. I'm still gonna be looking for a little cross to put on here, and I'm gonna decide what I'm gonna do about the hummingbird. So as soon as I figure that out, I'll show you what it looks like. So a few tips about putting on this clear finish. You're supposed to shake it for about 2 minutes until you don't hear the rattle anymore. And then you apply light coats, and you wait a minute between coats, so it says apply several coats. So that's what we're gonna do. So that's it. Wasn't that easy? Let me know in the comments what was your favorite tip today. Let me know if you are in the process of making any wreaths or any floral arrangements. And let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this. Any videos of any kind, let me know what you'd like to see, because I'm here because of you. Thanks so much. I've missed you guys. It's good to be back. Happy spring. See you in the next one.